Hello everyone, my name is Pranav Sani and in this video we'll talk about Pentium microprocessors. Now starting with key features, so it is a 32-bit microprocessor. So what this mean in computer systems, bit refers to the number of bits that can be transmitted or processed in parallel. So here 32 bits is the number of bits that compose a data element. Now it uses a 64-bit data bus. So think of it as a two complete processor fused into one. Now each of them is 32 bits, so overall data requirement will be 64 bit. Therefore, it has a 64-bit data bus. Now to be clear again, it doesn't mean that it is a 64-bit processor. Your add and subtract are still going to be a 32-bit operation. But you can do two such operations at a time, and that's why we need a 64-bit data bus. Now Pentium has 8 memory banks. So a memory bank is a logical unit of storage in electronics, which is hardware dependent. A bank consists of multiple rows and columns of storage units and is usually spread out across several chips. In a single read or write operation, only one bank is accessed. Therefore, the number of bits in a column or a row per bank and per chip equals the memory bus width in bits. It has 32-bit address bus. That is when 2 raised to the power 32 is going to be 4 GB physical memory. Now 4 GB is the amount of memory that can be accessed by Pentium. And also in Pentium you can connect a 64 terabyte of hard drive. Now Pentium has 5-stage internal integer pipeline. Now if some of you know about the 8086 processor, there are two pipeline in 8086 processor, which mean it can prefetch data while the other is executing. This process made it a lot faster than the previous ones. While in the previous one, the first data is fetched, then it executed, then after execution it fetched another data and then executed and so on. This made them very slow. Now in Pentium, there are 5-stage pipeline, which means 5 instructions will be executed at a time, making Pentium a lot faster. Now let's talk about the 5 stages one by one though. So the first one is prefetch stage. So in Pentium, instructions are variable length and are stored in prefetch buffer. So there is a 256 bit path from instruction cache to the prefetch buffer. Second is decode stage 1. So in this stage, the processor decodes the instruction and finds the opcode and addressing information, check which instruction can be paired for simultaneous execution and participates in branch address prediction. So third is decode 2 stage or decode stage 2. So addresses for memory reference are found in this stage. Fourth is execute stage. Now in this stage, data cache fetch or ALU or FPU operations may be carried out. Observe that two operations can be carried out. Fifth and last is for write back stage. In this stage, registers and flags are updated based on the result of execution. Now Pentium is a two-way superscalar. That means now as we learned in second point, that there is a 64-bit data bus in Pentium. That means there are two pipeline for data flow in order to transfer 64-bit data. And the name of two pipeline are first is U pipe and second is V pipe. Now Pentium has own chip floating point unit. The Pentium contains on and one on chip floating point unit that provides significant floating point performance advantage over its previous generation, providing the coprocessor onto the same chip as the processor. Now Pentium allows faster communication and quicker execution. Now Pentium has 8-stage floating point pipeline. So the floating point pipeline of Pentium consists of 8 stages, which are used to speed up the execution of floating point unit. Hence, it is a necessary floating point pipeline. So there are 8, and let's talk about the 8 floating point pipeline. First is prefetch, then first decode, then second decode, Then operand fetch, first execute, second execute, write forward, and the last is error reporting. Now branch prediction logic. So in two 8086 microprocessor, there were two pipelines which made it comparatively very fast as we talked earlier. Now in Pentium there are 8 which made it comparatively super fast than 8086, but there is one drawback of pipeline. It causes latency, and if there is any branch instruction, then all the previous data become useless. Because it was not expecting any branch instruction. Now to overcome this problem, Intel engineers came up with a great idea of branch prediction logic. So as it names, it works is to predict any branch data and then fetching correct information accordingly and then put into pipeline. Now let's talk about some difference between Pentium 1, 2 and 3. Starting with the release date. Pentium 1 was released in 1993, a a year late than it was supposed to be in 1992. Pentium 2 released in May 7, 1997 and Pentium 3 in Feb 26, 1999. Processor size is same in all these three microprocessors, that is 32 KB. Data bus size is also same, that is 64 KB. Now address bus size is also same, 32 KB. Also the addressable memory, that is 4 gigabyte, also known as RAM. Now clock speed of Pentium 1 is 66 MHz to 100 MHz, while it is 300 MHz in Pentium 2 and 500 MHz in Pentium 3. Transistor count is 3.1 to 3.3 million in Pentium 1. In Pentium 2 it is 7.5 million and 9.5 million in Pentium 3. All the three microprocessors are superscalar, and internal pipeline size in Pentium 1 is 5. In Pentium 2 and Pentium 3 it is 14. Number of integer pipeline is same in all the three, that is 2. And floating point pipeline is 8 in Pentium 1. In Pentium 2 it is also 8 and 11 in Pentium 3. And the last is number of floating point pipeline, and it is same in all these three, Pentium 1 and 2 and 3. Now that's it from my side. Thank you. If you like the video, thank you.